This is not the prettiest baked treat, but what it lacks in beauty, it makes up for in flavorful, tender, buttery goodness. Hello friends, this is Heather the Fed Up Foodie, and these orange cranberry scones are a perfect addition to holiday festivities. We personally love enjoying them with a hot cup of coffee. Start by cubing the cold butter and then place into the freezer while measuring the other ingredients in order to keep the butter nice and icy cold. This particular recipe has a combination of both granulated sugar and brown sugar, and I truly believe it's the brown sugar that makes these scones extra soft and tender. Mix all the dry ingredients together and stir well. It may take a little extra effort if your brown sugar has a few lumps. Once the dry ingredients are measured and stirred well, measure the heavy whipping cream and add to it the orange zest and orange extract. The heavy cream is what makes these scones incredibly decadent, and the zest and orange extract is what gives them that bright citrusy flavor. At this point, add the cold butter to the flour mixture and toss to cover the cubes in flour. This is the approach for making scones if you don't have a food processor or pastry cutter. Start by pinching and squeezing the butter with your fingers to break into smaller pieces. This is done rather quickly because you want to keep the butter cold. Once broken into pieces, you'll make sheets of butter by taking handfuls of the mixture and flattening them between your palms. Then make a well in the flour mixture and pour in the heavy cream. Stir until you have many pea-sized pieces and then transfer to a flat surface. As a side note, if using a food processor, see the notes section of the recipe card for this recipe. At this point, fold the dough a few times to help it start to come together. Gradually introduce handfuls of dried cranberries and chopped pecans, folding the dough with each addition. It will take about 3 to 4 minutes of working the dough for it to come together. Once it does, flatten or roll it into 1-inch thickness. In order to shape the scones, I like to form the dough into a large square, then cut it into 2-inch squares, and finally cut the individual squares in half to form a triangle. However, it's completely fine to shape them however you would like, as long as they have a 1-inch thickness. Once cut, transfer to a parchment-lined baking sheet, dab a bit of heavy cream or milk on the top. One of my favorite additions to holiday baked goods is a sprinkle of sparkling sugar because it adds a festive finishing touch. You'll add this right after the milk and then bake for 12 to 17 minutes or until the tops reach a very light golden brown. Once cooled, another delicious option is drizzling a simple glaze of powdered sugar and orange glaze. For more recipes like this and for weekly inspiration, make sure to head on over to thefedupfoodie.com and sign up for my newsletter where I share recipes and tips in helping to make cooking from scratch approachable.